Good morning, students. This is video 1.8. Unit title is Geometric Tools, and the objective is I can copy a segment and an angle. All right, so today's lesson is about something that's pretty cool. Let's go, flippers. It's about constructions. All right, and constructions, the word construction in geometry has a very specific meaning. It means the drawing of items such as lines and circles, could be triangles, using special tools that are called compasses and straight edges or rulers. Okay? So what you're going to actually do today is you're going to work on creating a line segment. You're going to copy and construct a line segment. You're going to copy and construct an angle. And at this point in the video, I'm going to ask you to stop writing. That's correct. You're going to stop writing. For this whisk, you need to watch the video with your eyes. If you want to copy some notes, you can, but you don't have to. You can just watch it. It's a demonstration, and you will be expected to do this in class with minimal help on Monday. Okay? So watch it, and when you're done, you'll see the hot question and answer it as usual.
Okay, so in this video, you'll learn how to use a compass to make a simple construction. A compass is really just any tool that we can use to draw circles of a specific length. So I'm on a website that allows me to show you a compass virtually, but you'll use one by hand. The way a compass works is that the length of the compass is the length of the radius of a circle. So I can change that length by making the compass wider or narrower, and then I can draw a circle with that radius. Sometimes we don't need to draw a whole circle. We can just draw part of a circle, which is called an arc. So we can make it any size we want, and this can help us in our constructions because we can use it to measure the distances between different spaces. So the first construction you're going to learn how to make is how to construct a segment of a specific length. Now you might be thinking, I don't need to construct a segment. I could just measure the segment and then copy it by making another segment that it's the same length. And that's true, but the thing about construction is that it allows you to know logically instead of by measuring. So instead of having to test with a ruler whether you made a segment that's exactly the same length as segment AB, we'll be able to logically prove that. So here's my segment, segment AB, and I can use my compass to copy that segment onto any old line I want. So I'm going to draw another line. You can tell it's a line because of the arrows. And technically, this is also a line. And so I'm going to start by putting another point on my new line, and I'm going to call that point C. That's where my segment copy is going to start. So now I'll take my compass, and I'll drag the center of the circle over to point A, and I'll make the radius as long as the distance between A and B. And I'll draw a little arc. Now that I've measured that distance, I can use this length of the compass, drag it down to my new point C, and draw the same arc. And it's the same size, so I didn't change my compass. So now I know that logically the distance between point C and right over here is the same as the distance between point A and point B. So now I can actually add my new point to my segment, and I know, segment is point D. So now I've copied segment AB, and I know it's exactly the same as segment CD. So another way of writing that is segment AB is congruent to segment CD. And congruent means they're the same. Now, we can actually do the same thing with an angle. It's a little bit harder. So when you're doing it with a line segment, you are really only making one measurement with your compass, the distance between the 2 points of your segment. But when you're doing with an angle, you need to make 2 measurements. So let's clear our lines and let's draw an angle. And remember, an angle is made up of 2 rays. I was going to make some cheesy joke about our Dean ray, but I've decided to let you imagine that. So here is the point, and here's a point on our first ray, here's a point on our second ray. This is angle A, B, C. And what we can do is on any old line we want, we can copy angle ABC. You know what, I'm going to make my line a little lower so I have enough space. Sorry, so angle ABC. And here's my arrows. And I'm going to make a line. And I'll label my angle. So here's point A, here's point B, here's point C. All right, so now, first thing I'm going to do is going to make the vertex of my angle on my new line, and let's call this point E. And first measurement I make is sort of like my line segment. I want to copy the line segment BC. I want to find out how long that is. So I'll take my compass, drag it out to point C from point B, and then just draw that arc. And I make it so it intersects the other ray, because we'll need this point in a second. So now, without changing my compass, I'm going to move it down to point E and draw the same arc. So now I know that this intersection of the arc and my line is going to be point F. So I can label it point F, use my pen. And next measurement. So I measured the distance between point B and point C. Now what I want to do is a little tricky. I want to measure the distance between point C and this cross. Do you see where this line crosses my arc? So I want to know how long that is, because that's going to show me how wide my angle opens. So I drag it out to approximately that intersection, and I draw a new arc. There it is. Very nicely done, Alex. So you got this great intersection here that shows you exactly how wide the angle is. Again, the radius of my circle is the width of my angle from point C to this intersection. So now what I can do is, again, taking the compass, not changing the length, I can draw that arc again. Oh, I made a mistake. So the important thing is that you make your arc big enough so that you get the intersections that you need. So I need to make my first arc bigger so I get the intersection that I need. So let's try redrawing that first arc. There we go. Nice and tall. And then I'll go back to my second arc, because I need these arcs to intersect. So here's my second arc. Drawing my second arc. Ooh, I'm so good. Okay. And now I'm going to go back to point F, that new point that I drew on my angle, and draw my second arc. So this intersection that I've just created is actually the equivalent of point A in my new angle. So what I'm going to do is label it point D. Here we go. And then I can connect it to point E by drawing a line that goes through point E and point D. So point E and D are collinear. And there you have it. These two angles are congruent. So the way we would write that is angle ABC is congruent to angle DEF. And that's two constructions.
That was an amazing video, right? Alex is awesome. So now your secret hot question is, how many circles do you need to copy a segment? How many circles do you need to copy a segment? And how many circles do you need to copy an angle? Now, I see IXL down here. It's coming, folks. That's right. We've gotten approved. I know you're so happy about it, but not yet. It will be happening in the next couple of weeks. All right. Have a great night.